So giving you guys a quick rundown of our ingredients here for this demonstration. I've got 4 examples of milk or milk substitutes on the left here in the red bottles. We've got our conventional milk products. These are sort of cow milk, available locally as a convenient sample. On the right here, I've got an almond milk, as well as an oat milk substitute product, plant-based oat milk. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be mixing them with some examples of acids, and you can use white wine vinegar. In this case, is like 5 or 6% distilled white vinegar, lemon juice, another weak acid with that sort of lower pH. We'll be able to sort of cause separation in these products if we add a little bit of acid to the milks. Measuring spoons, measuring cups on the right. These are 5 and 15 mil measuring spoons. You can kind of see the sort of kitchen measurement there as well. Any kind of pouring we're doing, I'm going to be using a measuring cup in place of a graduated cylinder that you'd see in a lab. Bowls, glasses, those sort of things we're pouring and holding liquids. And last, any stirring I'm doing, I'm going to be using these chopsticks. You can use a spoon as well. But also got a thermometer here. If anything gets heated or cooled, kind of test the shelf temperature of our milks, out of the refrigerator, and as well, anything you'd need that for. Gloves, kitchen, oven mitts. Good. So what I've got here are 4 containers. Each of the milk behind it is represented. Again, whole milk 2%, almond, and oat milk. While pouring, I noticed the oat milk product was a little less white than the others. I think that's a result of some added ingredients, cinnamon in particular. So what we're going to do is take a test strip. And again, the reason why I kind of poured these into separate containers was because with a non-food safe product like this, you wouldn't want to dip it straight into the container. What I'm going to do is sort of tear open this strip, and then we'll have sort of the color ranges within 6.2 to 8.4 for each. Let's see. All right. In there. Let's just take that, kind of dip it, and wait. And we're going to repeat that 3 more times. All right, so after waiting about 15 seconds, we kind of see our sort of control product here, the whole milk. pH is roughly kind of in that 6.2, maybe it's a little darker than that, I don't know. Again, we're sort of just estimating here. But we see our reduced fat, very similar, maybe a little more basic. Again, if we had a pH meter, we can kind of measure this more precisely, but more interestingly, our almond product here is definitely more alkaline. Yeah, 7.2-ish, maybe. What do you think? Best guess. It's more basic than the actual cow's milk. And again, same thing for our oat milk. They're kind of showing us here that they're branded similarly as milk substitutes, but our pH varies a little bit along this kind of narrow range here. Okay, so for this next demonstration, we're going to see what happens to these milk or milk substitute products when we push those pH ranges out of the sort of slightly acidic range and further down. Will it denature the proteins? Will it cause separation? And so on. So I've got about 15 milliliters here of this white wine vinegar, and I'm just going to add it to about 4 ounces or 120, 125 milliliters of milk. It's about a tablespoon to a half cup. One of the applications for doing this with conventional milk, at least, is it's a way to acidify milk in a way that makes it suitable for cheese production. You can make paneer without rennet this way. But a little bit of mixing, and maybe you can kind of get a closer look at this. I've got the whole milk on the left, the oat milk on the right. You can see it more obviously in the oat milk, but it's a little bit of clumping as well. In fact, this is kind of a creamier beverage. It definitely has some resistance forming. And it smells like vinegar, so, you know, wouldn't really recommend drinking it after this, but, all right, those are two of our examples. We're gonna repeat it for almond milk and the reduced fat milk and look at some of the results. Minutes, doing a quick temperature reading here. We're at about 51, 52 degrees Fahrenheit. That is because this milk has been out for about 5 minutes. So you can kind of see from that 40-degree temperature range of our refrigeration temperature how important it is to kind of keep milk cool. You know, we've already, the short span of 5 minutes, kind of raised 12 degrees. It's not a chemical reaction that's occurring, it's just sort of that holding cold milk in room temperature situation. If I put the spoon in here, you can kind of see that the previously suspended fat globules, these sort of casein proteins that are surrounded by fat, have separated from the milk. If I give it a quick stir, I'm trying to get a close up here. You kind of see you've got more or less kind of if I were using lactic acid, you know, in the production of sort of some cheeses or yogurt, I imagine these curds would be a little larger than sort of our vinegar treated milk. That's not a big deal. It is if you're kind of talking about cheese quality and stuff later. So let's compare it. I'm going to wipe off this spoon here. Actually, I'll grab another. And to the left here, after 15-20 minutes, we have our almond milk condition. You can see this watery layer in the middle. We've got kind of two layers of separation, maybe three if you talk about this sort of top. At the top, it looks to me like this is some kind of maybe thickener or fiber. You've got the water, kind of that makes that sort of middle layer here. Bottom layer, this is a lot of the fiber, probably the almond powder that forms a lot of this sort of product. It certainly looks different than that. Our third example here, our oat product. This definitely formed three distinct layers here. This top layer here has sort of a creamy layer. You've got the water, filtered water, in the middle. Bottom, I would assume, is probably sort of our carbohydrates from the oats, maybe some added minerals that are added in there, a lot of the spices that are probably denser than water. They're sitting at the bottom. But quick visual comparison, we've got three different products here, plant and animal based, that have different behaviors kind of when treated with the same acid.